FAIRsFAIR, Fostering Fair Data Practices in Europe, aims to supply practical solutions for the use of fair data principles throughout the research data lifecycle. The emphasis is on fostering fair data culture and the uptake of good practices in making data fair. FAIRsFAIR will play a key role in the development of global standards for fair certification of repositories and the data within them, contributing to those policies and practices that will turn the European Open Science Cloud Programme, EOSC, into a functioning infrastructure. The project includes 22 partners from across Europe and runs from March 2019 to February 2022.
Helping repositories progress towards becoming more fair, enabling and trustworthy is at the heart of the FAIRsFAIR project. We provide support and capacity building for repositories. Our support helps repositories make and keep their data fair and prepares them for certification as trustworthy repositories. Specifically, we support 10 European repositories on their journey towards becoming trustworthy and fair enabling. They have a diverse geographical and disciplinary background, so best community and national practices will help us and others to support their transition. We offer in-depth support in seeking Core Trust Seal certification. In return, the repositories share with us their invaluable knowledge on how trustworthy repository practices best enable fair data. Their observations and common issues in the certification process help us to create better guidance and support material, also for the wider repository community. With the repositories' help, the FAIRsFAIR project shares recommendations for integrating FAIR into the Core Trust Seal requirements.
Now let us have a look at the support process. How does FAIRsFAIR support the selected repositories on their journey towards trust and fair? In February 2020, we've kicked off with a face-to-face workshop at DANS in The Hague, in the Netherlands, where participants receive training to improve their knowledge of Core Trust Seal processes and requirements. With help of a road mapping exercise and a stakeholder mind map, the repositories made their first priority action list. They were also invited to comment on the Core Trust Seal plus FAIR overview to further improve the mapping between the Core Trust Seal requirements and the FAIR principles. Over the summer of 2020, repositories filled their first draft Core Trust Seal self-assessments. All 10 of the selected repositories successfully delivered their first drafts that were then peer-reviewed by the FAIRsFAIR support team. They provided the repositories with valuable feedback to improve their responses to the Core Trust Seal requirements and the supporting evidence they provided. In the autumn of this year, it is time for further in-depth feedback through one-on-one support calls between repositories and the support team reviewers, and also for a virtual joint workshop to further improve the draft self-assessments of the repository. With their knowledge and insight into the Core Trust Seal process, FAIRsFAIR will go back to the drawing table as well to improve the guidance and support material for the repositories and the wider repository audience. The moment of truth will be in early 2021, when the repositories will submit their self-assessments to the Core Trust Seal board and will enter the standard Core Trust Seal certification process of application, review, revision, and approval. We would like to thank all repositories very much for getting involved in the process, and we also thank the FAIRsFAIR certification plus FAIR support team for their guidance and support the entire process.
FAIRsFAIR also aims to support repositories who are not currently interested in being formally certified, but who do want to start to become more fair enabling. During the summer of 2020, we developed a draft description of the potential support we could offer and made it available for public consultation. Based on the feedback we've received, we're now starting to prioritize areas of activity, and we'll be developing a suite of guidance and resources that will be made available over the course of 2021 and 2022. One of the areas we're working on is to develop guidance on how to improve the findability of your repository's FAIR content, both for users within your specific domain and those from other disciplines. We'll also be working to provide guidance on how to align repository policies with the FAIR principles, and on how you can make these policies more visible to humans and machines. Setting up a FAIR data point enables a repository to provide metadata in a FAIR enabling manner, which helps both humans and machines to discover data holdings. In FAIRsFAIR, we're working with a number of repositories to help them to set up their own FAIR data points, and we'll be sharing the lessons learned. We've developed tools to help repositories assess the fairness of the data they hold, and to help researchers and data stewards to become more familiar with putting FAIR into practice. You'll hear a bit more about these tools in a minute. We'll be developing guidance on how you can make use of these tools, along with access to use cases on how and when FAIR data assessments might be most valuable. FAIRsFAIR would like to work with a wide range of repositories to test our emerging guidance, so please get in touch with us if you're interested to give it a try and to share your feedback.
FAIRsFAIR has developed several tools to support in FAIR assessment. FAIRaware is an online self-assessment tool hosted by DANS. It is mainly aimed at researchers and supporting roles such as data stewards, but can be used by a wide range of stakeholders. FAIRaware provides an assessment of your knowledge and awareness of FAIR. This tool is not used for the analysis of the fairness level of specific datasets, but it is useful to have a specific dataset in mind as you answer the questions and complete the assessment. The assessment starts with a few questions about you, followed by 10 questions about FAIR. For each question, additional information and guidance will be displayed either by clicking on the information icon or automatically according to how you answer the questions. It will also allow you to state to what degree you intend to comply with the FAIR principles. Most of the questions will help you assess your current level of awareness about what actions must be done to make data fair. As we are continuously improving the tool, we would appreciate feedback so that we can make FAIRaware as user-friendly as possible. Feedback can be provided at the end of the assessment. The FAIRaware assessment will take between 10 and 30 minutes, depending on your familiarity with FAIR principles. The FAIRsFAIR project has developed a set of metrics to systematically measure the extent to which research data objects are fair. These metrics are based on indicators proposed by the RDA FAIR Data Maturity Working Group and on prior work conducted by the project partners. We implemented most of the metrics in FUJI, an automated tool to assess the fairness of published datasets in repositories. The tool performs an assessment starting from a data object identifier, for example a persistent identifier or a URL, and is based on existing web standards and best practices endorsed by persistent identifier providers for research data. It utilizes external resources such as Re3Data and DataCite that enable the programmatic assessment of a data object. The assessment results return details of the metric assessed, a comprehensive output of the assessment, as well as a step-by-step outline of the evaluation. All sources used in the process are displayed and an assessment score is given. We have piloted FUJI with 6 repositories to help them evaluate their datasets for fairness and create action plans for implementations that will improve machine actionable FAIR assessments further. Future work will focus on visualizing the results as a badge. At FAIRsFAIR, all of our deliverables are open for comment, so please take a look and share with us your views. You will also find links to data, code, and other outputs that are openly available for reuse. If you'd like to volunteer to test the FAIRaware and the FUJI tool, please get in touch. We'd love to have your feedback. We also provide a list of upcoming webinars and training events from FAIRsFAIR and also from other initiatives that can help you keep up to date with emerging findings, tools, and approaches. You can also find all of our outputs in our Zenodo community.